I've known Specimen for a while, casted with him in Gwent, played with him in Gwent. He is one of the most creative deck builders out there. This is not one of those. So I think.
All right, we're gonna watch our my games yesterday against Jeff and Amaz. We'll watch them back, and I'll give you my thoughts and feelings on them.
And today we are kicking it off with stuff in the winners bracket, round number 2. Let's take a look at our bracket and find out what's already happened so far in this tournament, Monty. It's been great.
Yeah, it really has. Just getting to.
So if you didn't see, my first game was against KM.
Well, that is going to be Specimen's garbage deck getting the job done here. Stealing that back. And he's pumped about it. Look at that.
Jeff Hoogland, ladies and
Playing
gents.
A super sweet bounce deck, Monty. Going up against Specimen's garbage list. And that's not me just calling it garbage. It just literally is about making garbage, Monty.
Yeah,
it's called cloggers!
All right, here we go. Jeff Hoogland and Specimen.
So that's a bad start. I think I'm in a pretty unfavored matchup. So what I'm going to be looking to do with my snaps is timing them well. Try and just take some easy losses. I mean, I guess we're just playing the hood here. Seems fine. Obviously we have the Viper, but he snaps on Oscorp Tower. The snap's kind of interesting. I'm not sure I'm that concerned by Oscorp Tower. I think I can just fold, honestly. My hand's not so bad. He could just be bullying me out here, but I'm not convinced Oscorp Tower is that bad for me. But let's move on. I just figure it's not worth me staying in here. I think it's like I could have stayed in. I think it's a fine retreat. Like the kind of meta in a lot of these like early games is just lose a cube, right? I'm just like my mentality going into this matchup as well is I am gonna have a bad win rate. I just need to have like one game where I really pop off. So if Jeff is snapping that early, this is probably not going to be the game where I'm popping off, right? Because he's feeling confident. And the icebox was pretty unkind to me. It probably hit like not necessarily the worst two things, but. Yeah.
Here is
early Iceman is also very scary for my deck because a lot of the time what happens is it hits Aero or Demon or Titania and that kind of ruins my turn 6.
Players know what the other players
it's a fine retreat.
And Specimen knows it's better if I just get out of this.
I could have played on, but it's like
before it costs me too much.
Yeah.
I don't know what his hand is, right? Like knowing that his play was Falcon, would I retreat? Yeah.
For Spessy there, Jeff Hoogland picking up
Who cares?
the win
It's
on
a cube.
retreat from Spessy here in game.
Okay, and this is the big one.
Iceman.
Plunder Castle is very weird. It's only his Chavez which can get in there, so again I could actually see him snapping. We do have Aero though to move that away, so maybe secretly Plunder Castle is good for me. This is a big decision. I think I'm going to stay in and hope that I can Aero his Chavez away. And he snaps. Now this is probably more of a treat with Plunder Castle. My thinking was I can just Aero it away though, but to be honest, I should have retreated. I think I baited myself into thinking Aero is going to work when he can just probably fill. My logic is I can go Killmonger on 5, Aero on 6. So, I think it's... I can see why I stayed in here, to be honest. But yeah, the fact that he has Bast on 1, pretty scary. There's also like a psychological element because he snapped me on the first game. Do I really want to just keep running away? I think honestly, on reflection, this was probably a concede. But yeah, I have no 6 drops. He has 1, but it's only Chavez, right? It's only Chavez. So actually, my logic, I rope a lot here, so we can play it out. I do a lot of roping.
Specimen cannot.
My logic is that I guess I didn't rope that much. Pretty sure I wrote a lot longer on that. Maybe I like ended my turn. I think I might have ended my turn already before he snapped. But like, if there's only 2 lanes, then my clog is more impactful as well, right?
That's true.
I think I must have ended my turn
he should be able to
already, so I had less time to rope.
Location.
Now we're in an interesting position where obviously the Widow's Bite's going mid. We have a decision to make with Green Goblin. I'm liking the double up on Green Goblin actually. We could have gone mid for a risky play. Beast coming through now is huge. Now I think we want the base to stay with the fact that I have Aero. It's also probably fine. So Beast is gone. which is big. He can't pick up my Green Goblin. In hand, he has Black Widow. I need to track this. So he has Black Widow, which is 1 power, 1 cost. He has Korg. 1 power, 1 cost. What's my play? I can see myself taking another Green Goblin to the right here and playing the Hood elsewhere. I think the Hood's always going here. The question is, where's the Green Goblin go? I can actually see it just going to the left. Maybe we just play it to the right so we have a bit more of a threat. Bast comes through. So the Black Widow's 3 power. Korg's 3 power. They're not in hand though. The Iceman, he played on game 1. Interestingly, we can arrow him this turn and then arrow him again next turn. I think this might be a Killmonger kind of turn though, to be honest. I think we go Killmonger Demon. I think getting both of these back sounds nice as threats. I don't feel confident enough to snap at all. But he's going first here. The Killmonger could go elsewhere. The Demon's always here. I think the Killmonger's fine here. I think I'm honestly in an okay spot. I could see the snap. It's very risky though. I think this is the kind of risk I need to take in this matchup.
Specimen. Wow.
It's a bold snap, guys. It's an outrageous snap,
okay.
but it's a really good snap. I think this is like
Let's see what
best
happens
snap
this
of the
turn.
tournament,
Korg coming off
honestly.
here for Hoogland,
I like it a
followed
lot.
by the Hood with
Doesn't
three
look
balls.
like
There's
it to
that
the
enormous
untrained
Dark
eye,
Hawk,
right?
21 into the cloning vets. Killmonger. Flipping
But yeah,
over
the
there
threat of
for
the second
Specimen.
Killmonger is
Yeah,
also
cleanup duty.
really big.
Widow's Bite out of hand, followed by a demon into the vats is going to give Spessy another demon.
Jeff even said in Discord afterwards that he was
Yeah,
worried
Jeff
about
has
me
demons of
Killmongering
his
him again.
own, thanks to
But he thinks he probably misplayed
the
and
Hood
could
that was
have.
played the previous turn, so
could have
Jeff
played it
can
slightly
just
differently.
play a Dark Hawk.
I mean, our only real line is arrow mid, demon left or right. The concern is if he can play Dark Hawk and 2 cards. So if he has demon, Bast, Iceman. We doesn't have Bast, we killed it. So he has to have exactly Iceman, I think, to beat me here. Wait, am I even winning? Oh, I'm shit in the bed. I think I'm losing, right? I think I messed up. I have to go for an unorthodox line then. I don't like how I played this. Yeah, I played this badly. GG. I took a gamble. It didn't work out for me. If I go mid, I win. With this demon, so it was kind of a 50-50. I think this was good to stay in on. If the demon goes mid, I take it and that's game. But I went left. Okay. I think I played this correctly. So, here's what I'm not happy about with this game. It took me way too long on 6 to realize that arrow isn't enough. Now, a big advantage of Jeff's deck in general is the fact that it is really difficult to keep track of what's in hand. So I was wasting almost too much time working out what's in hand. Yeah, I'm not really happy that it took me too long to realize that arrow was never winning here. Like, it just made no sense. Because I wasn't ahead in 2 locations. If I was ahead in 2, it could have worked. But I was literally not ahead in either, and I'm losing tiebreaker, right? Yeah, I didn't play arrow. I made the right decision with Spider-Woman.
Darkhawk, there goes Mysterio for Hoogland. We've got 8 cubes on the line. Spider-Woman was the choice for Specimen.
It's literally it comes down to a 50-50 on demon position.
And there is the demon.
If demon goes mid, I win. Like, if his Dark Hawk goes mid and I play demon left, I win. Or it basically comes down to the positioning of demon versus Dark Hawk, right? 50% of the time they're in the same location, Jeff wins. 50% of the time they're not in the same location, and I win. But I do wonder if I could have made a read on demon here. But ultimately, even if I did make a read, Jeff could have equally made a different position on his Dark Hawk, right? So, yeah, it does actually just come down to a 50-50, which for me, being in a 50-50 in such a bad matchup for 8 cubes is exactly where I want to be.
Wow, Jeff Hoogland taking down.
So I'm really happy with how I played.
And that's Specimen's life completely.
Obviously, it looks like I'm just getting absolutely farmed because the next game is like not really worth like looking at that much. I just got outdone, and this is just you just kind of see what I mean, where his deck is just beating mine on average, right? I just can't compete with the amount of points he has in the average game.
Yeah, and we've just got a giant America Chavez.
Yeah, it's like, what's the point of risking it? If I lose 4 cubes there, I'm basically losing the game, and if I win 4 cubes, I'm not even in that good of a position, you know.
Is right, Spessy. There's Chavez. All right, we're gonna try.
And this is what the average game looks like, right? He just has more points than me. This is what the average game looks like. So you can see why, like, I took such an aggressive line where a 50-50 wins me. Okay, there was another one of my games though, which we can take a look at. Let's see what I've casted with Christo before. See what he's got to say.
And that's the beautiful part of this game we're about to do, right? Speci versus Amaz. These are, you know, somebody with Specimen that I've casted with, I've hung out with before. You know Amaz fairly well, so I feel like we got a good vibe here going for this matchup.
Now for the losers bracket, this is great because it means someone's going home, so the stakes are even higher.
The stakes are high, guys.
It doesn't happen anymore. It is the fact that if you lose,
me versus Amaz.
And so looking at the deck list that we have, I want to look at Amaz's first because this is an interesting one. I always like Galactus decks. They feel like that they always have something crazy that can.
So he's playing Galactus. He's playing Galactus. It's kind of weird, this matchup. Leech. It's all about Leech. So I'm going to say hello. They're going to... Oh, wait. Should I ask him to snap? Maybe not. Kind of nervous. This matchup could definitely go badly for me. But Leech is just the man, right? I'm 1 game away from elimination, which is obviously very spooky. We want to fight for initiative pretty aggressively. In case he waves on 3. I think we're fine to hold on to Power Stone. Titan means he can Galactus early. Oof. Oof. Ooh. Spooky. I think we're fine. I have the Leech. Alright, so my hand's really good. I snapped. I have Lockjaw, I have Leech. It's kind of what I need.
Has Speci already snapped?
So, aggressive snap to start things off.
The weather and the hoodies, Speci is snapped. He's got Quinjet, he's got Lockjaw, he's got a couple stones in hand. He's got to be feeling pretty good.
This matchup basically comes down to Leech for me. I didn't think about Titan, yeah, I think you're right. When I was watching this back last night, I also thought about that.
You're now negating that consistency trade-off that you have. You're drawing 2.
Titan is definitely scary for me. Because you can Galactus me early, right?
Say though is a major swing to what's happening here. You saw Specimen's reaction to Altar of Death. For Amaz now snapping back with Electro off Altar of Death.
Oof. Oof. Ooh. Spooky. I think we're fine. I have the Leech. Altar of Death is very scary. I have the Leech. That's all I need. Can he Galactus Altar? Can I lose? I have Lockjaw into Time Stone on 3, meaning I can Leech on 4. It's pretty insane how good my hand is. So.
What is that? 4-6 energy next turn?
That's 7?
When am I buying Galactus? No time soon, because I want to buy new cards when they come out.
Oh, yeah, 7 energy.
When Null's cheaper as well, like when Null's for Series 3, around then.
Space Stone, I will feel like is going to be a big part of this too, though, because now you can shift over. Really, what this boils down to, I think, from Specimen's side is, does Galactus show up or not?
So, Amaz plays...
would you be doing here? Wouldn't getting Galactus down...
Amaz plays Chavez, so Leech on 4 is kind of the key thing, if I can do it in this matchup, because then he can't Octopus me. There's only 1 card in 12 that he can draw, which isn't Leech. Right?
So many tools your opponent has.
So Leech on 4 is like really important, because otherwise he can go Galactus here, and then Octopus on 5.
You
and then
don't
I'm probably
have
losing the game.
Chavez
So
in
being
hand,
able to
the
leech
Death in hand,
here
so,
with initiative
gonna
is
have a
really good for
little
me.
bit more of a-
And Space Stone in the lane that you're playing Galactus in. So you see here that Specimen is.
So I get the leech off, which is great. Like, I just think this is game
winning.
winning.
Something like some big.
There's
combo
literally
play
one
that
card
needs
in
to be able
12
to
that
do this.
Amaz
This
can
does start
draw
off with a
here,
lot of
which
options on Amaz's
is
side,
going to
but
beat me
I'm
on turn 6,
curious how
right?
big of a difference this is really gonna be at the
It's a
end.
1 in 12
Right
because
now,
he only has one turn to draw it because
There you see
because
the
of
Altar
Chavez.
on the Altar of Death, so everything's going off that side, and
So I'm winning this game 11 times out of 12.
face off against Galactus. It's not exactly ideal. The
Yeah,
didn't hit
I
anything.
know that he can play
overly
Galactus mid. I
important,
snapped
probably
early.
looking
I
at
played this
Death, so
perfectly.
Death can't be
Oh
disconnected
look, the
enough
1
to
in 12
really
card
lose.
he can draw,
Gosh, that is
which
a
means that I
huge
lose.
And Amaz,
So if it wasn't for Kang,
did Amaz
I'm losing 12
come
cubes
out?
this
Yes.
game.
Off of the lockjaw.
8 cubes
So
rather,
Rose is
and I'm
minus
kind of
one.
out.
Yeah,
It's
the
kind of
whole idea of
insane.
this too-
He doesn't seem upset.
I was
He
so
doesn't seem upset.
confident.
He's
I was like,
gonna
yep,
lose.
easy work.
Does he know something we don't?
This is just the spot I want to be
I
in,
think
right?
that what it's at right now is that you are sitting with 4 cubes as a risk right now. You will have the option to retreat if you want on the final turn.
I was looking for
So
my
why not
boxing
play it out
gloves. I
and see
couldn't
what's
find them.
happening here?
I mean,
I was looking for my boxing gloves, guys. Okay. Let's see what he's got. I lose 2 points on Dino here. Ooh. I'm mad as hell, bro.
you don't have
Losing
much
4
control, so
cubes when it
literally
should just
turns
be a
where you
4
have
cube
one
win.
location and one slot to play
There's
a
actually
card.
nothing else that beats me, right?
You, okay.
You know what? A retreat later. Oh, come on.
So I lose the first game to a 1 in 12,
So you
kind of.
can't play on Deathstone
Maybe it
anymore.
wasn't quite a 1 in 12 because I think I might have also been losing to death
Finisher.
on
Well, the discount
reflection.
goes away, so you don't have a choice in the matter. You can't play it, and this is a set.
Yeah, I mean, I probably should have just taken the
Wow,
arrow
this
on
is
in
something.
hindsight.
I think that
I think it was
for
just a bad
Specimen,
snap
this
from
is like
Amaz though, because he was just losing to
something
arrow.
really detrimental. You can't play on Deathstone.
And he was also losing most of the time to leech. Leech was just safer,
You're
I
hoping
think.
that this third location
If
does
his play was
not
like
mess everything up.
octopus there.
The lockjaw is gone.
I lose my lockjaw.
That cannot
Oh,
feel
why
good.
Sokovia?
Love it when I saw the Batman shirt. Nice.
I mean,
Let's go.
Sokovia.
This
might
game
be
I'd snap on turn
something
2
that
after my
you
lockjaw
know,
got fucking.
destroy your game plan, your hope, your
No
dreams.
way.
Take it all away.
Ruin one player's hopes and dreams.
It's like I've already lost 4 cubes as well, right?
That's what you want. You don't want Electro sticking around.
There's no way.
Yeah.
Deep into that death a bit as well.
Get out of here, Electro. We need you for one job.
Obviously, my lockjaw got discarded, which you don't know about. But
Just like me.
that's the main in Dark Dimension against Galactus.
And you know, looking at it, Wave.
But they're not exactly good for me either, right?
You know, I was wondering, do you ever drop Wave on Death's Domain as well?
I mean,
Do you
maybe
drop
they're
Galactus
okay.
on
I mean, I can see your logic.
Killmonger after
I can
the
definitely
fact
see your
to clean
logic.
up what Speci has there.
But like Death's Domain is like still
Yeah,
not
it
that
really
bad for
doesn't matter
Galactus,
too much
right?
where the wave comes down, other than for the factor of like.
You can
maybe
play for the
purple
tie, I
is
guess,
where your
against the
opponent's
Reality
plays,
Stone. It's pretty bad.
But Amaz is gonna have access.
But
to
yeah, I
all
mean,
the
I definitely do
So,
not
like, you're gonna have
think this
6
was
energy on
a
your
good
bottom.
snap for me when I'm
That's
like
one of the
4
keys
cubes
for the
down
match.
already,
How the
right?
follow-up is
I'm
gonna
very
be
confident in the
based on
matchup. I just
so
need to pick my
Galactus,
moments. I think like it would
hopefully you
be
can draw something better
very
than that, though,
risky to have
because the
snapped
wave's
so
not
early
getting
there.
healed ever.
So there's maybe like some kind of line I can arrow his Galactus into Death's Domain here. And then Reality Stone it because I'll have second say. So I would wager he goes Galactus here, maybe? Also with Kang, like when you've got Kang snapping so early is losing you a lot of value.
Big advantage, I think, for Specimen because he's going to be able to see what's going on here. If he now knows that Galactus is coming down, maybe he can trade that off and find himself in a spot where Reality Stone can win the game. So Kang is going to come down. You see Galactus get revealed.
So, if I arrow him to the left, I just win, right? Reality Stone Quinjet just wins, right?
Here.
It's quite possible that I was not playing perfectly. Again, I don't own Galactus myself,
Oh,
right?
is
So
going to work. Arrow on Death's Domain is going to kill.
it's like
Arrow
my
and-
big deck. It's like the big deck which
Yes, it would kill.
I don't
Deaths.
really
The
know
difference is
how
your
to play it
opponents can have
perfectly,
initiative
etc.
sometimes.
Like Daryl asked me that, I say like how
And so
did
notice
Amaz
the
play? And I was
snap
like,
is the
hard
first
for me to
tier
say I don't
by
own
as well.
Galactus.
Because Kang resets the turn to the very start. The snap was technically.
Also playing into Death's
turn.
Domain is good for
Specimen
death.
Now has that same plan.
It's not that good.
So how on earth do you manipulate this to work to your advantage? If you Reality Stone and Death's Domain on the left, you can take away the Death's Domain activation. The thing about it's happening is you're moving where the Galactus is going, and if it's on Death's Domain alone, you're now facing down 2 power that you have to beat. So maybe you can bluff your opponent in some way here. So like you move the Galactus, for instance. Does Amaz actually want to play something here?
Well,
The answer is like no, because Death's Domain is in play. So now the follow-up for Specimen is Reality Stone, change the location, get your stuff down. This is kind of a wonky play, but honestly, this feels really clever to me.
It absolutely is.
I can still lose from here, right?
To himself, if I drop anything here, it just
There's like this
dies.
location, like the first card you play here,
Death
just
that actually
dies, like
changes.
Altar of Death. I'm also losing against.
Look at the confusion on Amaz's face right now, thinking, what?
There's
why?
like some locations I lose to
Especially
still.
knows anything he drops there is going to survive. And without initiative,
Wow.
he's good.
This is a
here.
brilliant play from Specimen.
Yeah, the odds are very much in my favor, but I was just like,
I think that
come
just-
on,
that's just
imagine I
Specimen.
lose 4 cubes
Every
again.
time I see a reaction from Spessy, it just looks like this. And the question is the Doc Ox?
No, he didn't, but the concern is the
I
location.
know that the way that this card
rolling.
operates, it feels like sometimes it says play the card, sometimes it feels like
KM lost to Cozy with Warrior Falls. Oh, damn. I didn't watch that game
I don't know
still.
every single interaction that Dr. Octopus has with pulling cards onto the field.
That's a great point. And we're not going to find out because it looks like Amaz is going to say toodaloo.
He's considering it, and I don't blame him here. Like, if Reality Stone comes up in Amaz's mind, I think that causes the retreat. If you end up forgetting that Reality Stone changes this location and then opens up your next play, doesn't feel the same way. So Amaz passes the turn, and then he sees Reality Stone.
Oh, so there we go. Let's go. Come on.
And you know what the crazy part is? That was the only option Spessy had because the other 2 cards in his hand both cost 6. So he has
Wow.
Thanos and Chavez who come down for 6 and they can't be played with the Reality Stone. The Reality Stone in and of itself doesn't win you the location.
That is just
Mate,
an
if I
absolute
hit
play.
a
This is
location
great
which killed my
sad
stuff,
Chris.
I would have
I
cried.
just can't.
Yeah, like maybe I'm bluffing, but
With a follow-up turn to the Galactus beam.
I'm not that good.
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe I am. I wouldn't snap on it.
in
This.
snap, right?
I think he should run.
You end up in these wonky situations that you really
Maybe he
have
just
to
didn't like
just
clock the Reality Stone. He's looking at my deck list, right, and
You
like
can play anything here. It's game
not
over.
thinking at like if he's just looking at the deck, looking at Thanos. He's not
Has a deck
necessarily
full of
looking at the
stones,
Reality
he
Stone
has
as well,
to
right?
draw the right card.
I think it was probably more like a didn't even think of the Reality Stone. I don't think Amaz is super.
That Dream Dimension
active
as well.
playing
Turn
snap
5 cards
at the
costing
moment.
1 more can mess with Amaz's Galactus a little bit as well. You know, trying to drop it on 5 after playing something like Electro or something like Psylocke. So that can also make. That's not true. The 6 can't cost.
Yeah, so this I was really unhappy with myself because I didn't rope. It's all about trying to get initiative at this point. Maybe Lockjaw should have gone into the lizard lane. Yeah, this was a misplay. Fucking slow down, you clown. You donut.
A little bit at the.
And while the rope was like dwindling down, I realized I mispositioned my Lockjaw.
Spessy
I
never
was
has to
a
worry
bit
about
caught
getting
up in like
from
the
Amaz's side of things. So if you drop Lockjaw in the
emotion.
center here, then you try to fill this
I was
up,
quite
what happens
stressed
is
with
when
like
you
the
shift to
first
right,
game going
you don't necessarily
4
have a
cubes
good
against me.
play. So a little minor thing. I think it's unlikely to make a difference because we're seeing Killmonger play this turn.
So that was just me like reminding myself I
Win
needed
those
to.
matters. They matter
I
a
need to chill.
lot.
Oh, like that.
That matters a lot.
That is correct.
I think if you're in Spessy's side and you see a leech get pulled this early off of a lockjaw, that you are snapping.
I'm fairly confident we can snap this.
And Spessie's a pretty aggressive snapper typically as well. So it's strange to there it comes.
Yeah, and I think Amaz knows the drill here. This is possibly the worst outcome that can happen against this deck. Yeah, easy retreat. It's only 1 cube. Not a super big deal yet.
So I can lose a cube here and it means nothing, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm on 6, he's on 5. So we can both lose a cube and it means nothing here. I can use that to my advantage. I have a free retreat if I don't have the nuts. But yeah, I think if I just needed to play a few games before, warm up a bit. Yeah, I played pretty fucking badly.
Pretty good start to things. Specie.
The whole tournament is not actually over yet.
That
Yeah.
cleans your hand up so much, gets you the cards you want. Now you're just looking for lock.
I don't know how much of it
Yeah,
out.
so Specie, I think, is changing up the snap plan a little bit. I think in a blind matchup, if you have Mind Stone, I think it's a pretty easy justification.
Why did I decide to go all in?
You're against Killmonger, you're against a deck that does not care too much about anything other than landing a Galactus in play. So if you don't have the counterplay to
King
that,
Games?
I
What do you
feel
mean,
like the snap value goes down by a considerable amount. So I think given that Specie has
Against,
a little bit of options here to
Jeff, you
maybe
mean?
not snap and take their time. Maybe you're trying to bait Amaz into actually losing.
Or
2 cubes, so
against
you're leaving
Amaz.
4 cubes at stake from your side. So that's you have to win 2 games versus 3 at that point. There's a
In the
lot of
first
little
round.
things like that.
In the first round, I went all in because it's like
function
only
here. So
my leech
Specie
is
not
like
snapping despite
winning
her
unless I get
Mind
high rolled.
Stone. I think it's okay. I think he's got.
And I have
hands on
Kang
line
to
that can-
check.
You know, as we saw in a game just a couple of rounds ago, you know that was some brilliant stuff we cooked up, and so I'm hoping he can do it again.
Absolutely, and that's.
Okay, so this game he Electras me.
Stones is not necessarily for their power.
This is a game I misplayed because it's this is like where it's
to be able to play
round
well
4,
in certain scenarios,
and I'm on an
you know,
even
space
number of
stones
cubes,
is
so I can
allowed
afford to lose
for
1
individual
cube for nothing. This is
locations.
actually like the play I was really
He's
unhappy
gotta
with that I made.
decide, you know, where he wants to commit, knowing that Amaz, like you said, Nathan, is just waiting for that Galactus to come down because that's the only location that matters.
During the second game?
However, that's not
Against
Amaz's
Jeff, you
hand
mean?
right now, and not
Yeah.
else.
Well, I lost on a
Yeah,
50-50.
tough to figure it out
So-
on Spessie's side right now. This is not a beautiful looking hand.
It was a really bad matchup for me against
Drop
Jeff.
some raw power,
I didn't win
why
once
not?
in scrims in like 2.5 hours
And that's
against
always the risk, right? You're gonna
Bane
drop
playing his
Shang-Chi.
deck.
You
And
have
I
to worry
saw
about Shang-Chi coming
some
down,
lines
Legion of Amaz's
which I
hand.
could win.
You have to think about
Jeff had
Galactus
initiative,
coming down to a different
which meant my
location,
Killmonger on
which
5
we
was
know
putting in a lot
not
of work.
currently in Amaz's hand. There are
I should have
options.
run here.
Where's the snap? Because
It's a
Shang-Chi
free
can
run.
She-Hulk out.
If my arrow isn't buffed,
Or will
I'm
it?
fine, but it got buffed, so.
Yeah, Spessie's got a couple things to figure out here.
I'm
You
obviously
see the snap
anticipating
that definitely
Galactus.
brings something like Galactus to
So I can
mind.
see why I stayed
Specie
in,
tries to go for a counterplay.
but
ends up
I
losing
can
the
literally
arrow.
leave this game and it doesn't,
Not much gets
I don't
accomplished with that.
lose any lives, basically.
Arrow moving Shang-Chi
'Cause I'll
away
be going down to
is
5.
official, and
I'm on 6
that
right
is
now,
the
and it's going to be double
logical
stakes, which
play
means like
because
this 1
otherwise
cube
they
means
should be able
nothing.
to block what could be a Galactus coming down.
Well, you give your opponent an
Actually,
arrow in that
We only saw
spot.
like 2 games
Shang-Chi
versus Jeff. I think the power of the deck doesn't
though,
really
with
become apparent to
Specie
people yet.
having
Yeah.
initiative means that the Shang-Chi is going to destroy the arrow. So center location is effectively lost now for Specie in this spot, but it is a big advantage.
I think
to the left.
I could have retreated. I
Also,
literally
Galactus
retreat
card,
and lose
so you need
nothing.
to put enough power in play to fight in 2 different spots.
But yeah,
Correct. And now you've got no. That's still a big no. You have
on any other round, I think it's fine to stay in there. But the fact that I basically can lose, just retreat for nothing, that means I should have retreated.
You now go just lockjaw, drop some stones, and hope maybe you pull out something big that's hanging out in your deck. But Thanos is in hand, Chavez is in hand, She-Hulk is dead, Arrow's been played. Devil Dinosaur would be worth a couple points here.
Oh, I'm just not.
But yeah, the fact this was round 4 is
Might be a
the
retreat spot. Yeah, Spessie's
He's
gonna
not there
retreat.
either.
there is. I was a bit unhappy with how I played
I
that
think
one.
It's not rare that the deck on Amaz's side can win with just Killmonger and Shang-Chi and putting a bunch of.
But yeah,
power.
also if my arrow isn't
It
buffed
is
here,
a
then
fairly uncommon
I was
outcome.
fine,
This is
right?
Not necessarily the way you want to play, and I feel like Vault.
I guess maybe not because
super
his
mixed
Shang
things up
and
here.
Electro
Even
both
putting
buffed.
Shang-Chi on a buffed
That's actually not
arrow
true.
is a pretty rare circumstance.
I don't know who's favored. I'm definitely favored.
Oh boy.
Oh my! This can completely mess up the game.
Leech is
for
just
both
too
sides of
good.
things. This turns
I
into
have
a
Leech and
huge
Arrow,
game
right?
times.
I'm definitely
You
favored.
have to wonder. So Specie obviously has the ability to flip that around,
But yeah, losing like this big
but with reality. So
4 cuber early on.
yeah, he can dig it out. Is is it more beneficial for him to maybe leave that, knowing
This
that if
game?
Amaz does get a Galactus out, that
I would
he maybe
snap
has to want a
10-2.
death or a null?
I think it certainly can be beneficial.
Yeah,
to
I can
either
see
side of
snapping.
this. For Spessy seeing a lockjaw get drawn right after.
I guess
the Galactus
X Mansion's
drawn is
also
not
really bad for them,
the
right?
most fun thing in the game that you could see. A lot of times you don't need super.
I can see
high
the argument
value
to
from
snap here for
lockjaw, just
sure.
A couple points of it can make a difference. But the Mindscape, you know,
I mean, he could
direction that
Killmonger
this
somewhere
opens up
else.
into different styles of play, I think, is gonna
And kill
boil
the
down
sunspot,
to
but
a
yeah.
guessing game for Spessy at the end of the day. It's if your opponent has a mana ramp, that question all is gonna
Again,
be
it's so risky, I think, snapping that early when that's like it's my last life, right?
That is an option to get a little bit
And yeah,
value into,
I can see your
Galactus
logic.
going down or
I'm just not
something like that.
not
So
making these
you
reads
maybe
necessarily
decide,
against
hey,
Galactus.
this looks better or worse
Just got
for me,
Infinite,
and then
congrats,
can
Nami.
adjust accordingly. Again, if the Reality Stone comes up. But then we see the Lockjaw come down and Killmonger clean up what's on the board, including Amaz's own Sunspot there.
Next Mansion, how much is this going to change things? This card always terrifies me.
That armor.
This felt like
Oh my!
a very weak Killmonger play, and then
That is that is.
I get the
immediate.
X Mansion high roll. My
Putting
first bit of
a
RNG.
Thanos behind an armor. I don't know if you could find a more one-sided double drop than that out of X Mansion.
Yeah, that is a lot. But Amaz does.
Yeah,
have
Freddy's a great
access
player.
to Psylocke into Galactus, and then Null. But the Mindscape is really changing that. If you decide to go Psylocke into Galactus, the hands shift off Mindscape.
You're giving away null
Yeah.
and death. And the fact that the third location was X Mansion meant that you could never actually Galactus that location. You can't Galactus the center location of Dark Dimension because you can't reveal the cards. So Mindscape has
Thanks,
to
Nobby. My
be
editor's in the
that
chat
happens
as
if
well.
you want this to happen.
So I'm sure he'll
And Amaz
appreciate that.
agrees.
Unfortunately, I
think
lost a
that's
lot of the
good spot to
reaction
go ahead and give
to
that
my
one
game
out.
against Jeff.
This is like I think something that Galactus can often struggle with.
the video.
Is the location variance. If you get some bad ones, it is really bad. For Thanos,
So Amaz is on like,
bad
is he on 3
location,
lives or
like,
4?
yeah,
It's hard to
I have some
tell.
ways to play around this. Galactus is very.
I think he's on
reliant the
4. It's just not
synergy
cropped
that
properly.
Those two power plays are going to provide the Galactus plus the Null. If those get messed up, the whole plan is messed up.
Bessie loving the leech in his hand.
Yeah.
Which is
This-
confusing to me because I feel like you don't want leech in your hand. I feel like you want leech in the deck and you want to lockjaw that sucker out at 3 or 4.
I just want to
I
leech
don't
him,
mind having
mate.
a leech. You know, again, if you turn 5 the leech
Whoa,
and you
never
blow
mind.
up any key card, you know,
Leech is just the card, right?
let's go ahead and get it all done right now. Oh my.
But the draw.
The option for a turn 2
He has
Galactus
initiative.
is
You want a
not something I
50-50 on
had
initiative
considered
here
very
as
much.
well. Which is a really bad spot for me to be in.
So
'Cause otherwise I can just arrow him mid.
Yeah, he wants to wait on the leech, it looks like, so that way he can try to hit a
So I can't
card.
leech now
So the
because
little bit more time you give
50% of the time my leech doesn't go
higher chance
through.
You're going to be able to hit a null or to hit a Galactus.
yeah, I actually play arrow anyway.
But if you're a monster, do you just do it? You do it on the unrevealed location. Wow. Wow, and the snap. And the snap. What is going to
I thought about
come
conceding.
out of that final location? You're
Especially
playing
says,
in
you
the
know what?
unknown.
Let's go. Oh boy. I don't think I've seen a turn 2 Galactus.
Yeah, it's literally a 50-50.
I'm sorry, I'm still. That's
And
Sunspot
relevant.
dies to
the
Killmonger,
most harmless
Shang-Chi.
location you can pull, but arrow building up some points there. Death is playable on 6. Null probably didn't get a whole lot of a buff either, so. Not
So it's
the
actually
best case
50-50?
scenario
I
for
mean,
Amaz.
ultimately,
Both
yes.
hands, though, gonna be able
I
to
know what you're
use it.
saying, hence why I played arrow to the right, but it's
That is a lot of a priority.
It's still a
for him to
50-50
do.
ultimately.
Typically, the Galactus deck does not want to have priority.
like I still like the position I'm in.
Stuff. That's one of the reasons why Dr. Octopus, I think, is super powerful in this deck as well. Is you
To
can
some
pull
extent.
all of the cards from your opponent's hand, fill up the location, and then be able to make your choice.
And that's not even a bad call here.
Also, I don't actually want to leech so early. Leeching so early is pretty fucking bad against Galactus, right?
Is it a death? Is it a Shang-Chi?
Because
What would help me
for the reasons I said before, right?
So
Like,
we'll see
he
if
can
that's
draw
the
cards
Amaz goes
which
with.
then aren't
4 getting
leached.
5
I don't
power,
want to leech so
going straight
early.
for the Doc Ock.
So now here, I'm predicting the Dr. Octopus coming
Definitely
through.
I think you can have
And
considerable amount
I
of
actually, it would make sense for me to play a card here, right? However, playing a card reduces the odds of Leech getting pulled. I need the Leech still to get pulled, I figured her. Because of Shang-Chi in particular.
Play.
So
If your opponent has only big threats.
I made the decision to play nothing eventually because that increases the odds of Leech getting pulled.
I mean,
I figure I'm kind of winning here as long as Leech gets pulled and he doesn't top deck Shang-Chi, right? I think it's only Shang-Chi top deck which would beat me, 1 in 12.
but you know,
If my
I am
Leech gets
terrified
pulled,
for
right?
both players right now.
Because I know that I make the read that Octopus is coming.
Specimen
which is why I play
loses
nothing.
this, still got a couple more games.
and talk about playing for the match, dropping Galactus on turn 2 without even knowing the location.
So yeah, you see I'm hovering the Leech.
Leech
Comes
does not
through.
Come down. Shang-Chi does not come down. Oh, I'm sorry, Leech did come down.
Does come down. Leech does
Shang-Chi
come
does
down.
not come down. But that's the one you're looking for if you're in Spessie's spot, is you want the Leech to
So I'm
hit.
fine here, right? I have 2 card draws. His biggest card is a 12 in death,
That's not going to do it.
which isn't enough. It's only Shang-Chi which beats me,
You
right?
see that Spessie's stressed about it, though. Like, is 25 enough? You're going to go to 27 from Devil Dino. You're hoping that you messed up Shang-Chi. You're hoping that you messed up Null.
But obviously, I felt like I lost a 1 in 12 before. I think it was not quite a 1 in 12, having watched the VOD.
No, because that is the only card. That's the only card that can do it.
I mean, you mentioned it early, though, that there wasn't a ton blown up by Galactus. So, how much is the Null provide?
1 in 12, you can see me saying it.
I just completely forgot about that. This is just.
But then I see the Shang-Chi 1 in 12. I saw the Shang-Chi, I pooped myself.
No, he did not draw the. Oh.
He was. I appreciate Amaz.
GG. Fun game. Okay, so this is my. If you guys are not up to date, I beat KM. I lost to Jeff. I beat Amaz, and now I'm up against Blevins. So, did I win? And he's commentating our series.
Takes the wheel. They both snap.
We're going to be casting a match that I'm actually in, as you may remember me from the other matches earlier in this very tournament. We're going to be casting a match that I'm in against Specimen because we don't actually have my perspective because I'm a big dumb doo-doo head, as our good friend Admirable has certainly pointed out to me many times. I kid, I love Admirable. But yeah, so I'm paying my price here on the caster desk because my side did not get recorded. So we're
Oops.
gonna look at that here, and I ended up playing against, as we mentioned earlier, Specimen.
What a
here, who's
sweatbag
playing
deck.
A Thanos deck, relatively standard Thanos, Lockjaw, Quinjet.
So
does have a
disgusting.
King,
Forgive me, guys.
as well, pretty good. But
Guys,
the standard
I really tried not to play Thanos. I tried so hard. I spent a long time prepping for this tournament. And I really did not want to play Thanos. But there was just... I found the Spider-Woman deck, right? And there was just nothing else. There was nothing else. Like, the obvious lineup for this tournament was Thanos Shuri, which, like, KM brought and Dara brought. So, like, I tried.
I've known Specimen for a while, casted with him in Gwent,
It's
played
true.
with him in Gwent. He is one of the most creative deck builders out there.
Mhm.
This is not one of those. So I think
Oh, God.
we're gonna see here.
So this game took place, like, not long at all after the Amaz game. It was like an hour or two after.
I'm Spider-Man, me,
Ah!
and I insta-snap here.
I
so
knew it.
the reasoning behind this is
I knew it.
if you've been following the 983 Media YouTube channel, you'll know that Specimen and I did an episode of
true.
a Marvel Snap episode on the very channel many months ago when Snap first came out, and I specifically said if I ever see Specimen and play against him, I will snap instantly.
It's true.
Now, this was well before battle mode came out. This was well before we were thinking that we would ever play in a tournament against each other, but I stayed true to
I
it.
bought
And
it.
I snap Specimen every single game here
Oh my
just
God.
because I said I would many months ago, having no idea that this tournament was coming up.
a man of his word. I can appreciate.
I said I was going to do it as well, but did I fuck, mate? I wanted to win.
appreciate that. I do.
Like I said this back in like October, right? Like when we queue into each other on ladder, like not not in a tournament.
Sort of question the logic of maybe doing it after the first time. Did it need
Oh,
to be
yeah.
every time, Blevins? Did
It was
need to be every
never.
time?
It was never a good idea. I won't. I can't. I can't. I cannot argue that it was a good idea. I'm just saying that's why I did it.
I respect it.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I'm too much
Getting
of a
into turn
sweatback,
three,
man.
I mean, Spessie's doing pretty standard
Why don't I
Infinity
play
Stone things, getting the
Grinja here?
lockjaw, dropping a stone here.
Kind of
You've
weird.
got the 0 going on board. Do you remember what you were thinking at this point in time?
Yeah, I don't remember exactly because I don't remember exactly what my hand is. The biggest talking point is going to come up on the last turn of this game, which I remember very specifically, and this is it will I think turn 5 and turn 6 are going to be very, very impactful. What I will say is that I felt relatively confident going into this.
Oh mate, I think I know what happens
going
here.
into the final turns of this game. As you know, the standard Thanos deck is one that you see a ton on ladder, as well as the Shuri deck. I mean, this is a matchup that both of us have probably played dozens and dozens of times on ladder, not even with outside testing, just because of the nature of it. Now, Leech coming down
It's not that good
certainly
'cause of
does
Red Skull, right?
is certainly annoying, but as you see, I have the Shuri, so I've got the ability that I want, and there are cards like Red Skull. There are pretty much the only thing that really hurts is if I get my arrow leached and if I get like Taskmaster leached.
Look at that boy.
She-Hulk to
That's a big
a
lad.
lesser extent as well turns off some of my options, but as we'll see in a few turns here, one of those cards did not get hit specifically, and it's going to end up playing out well, as we'll see here.
At the same time, you know, Specimen's hand is fairly stacked. He's got everything he wants in there. He's got his Devil Dinosaur. He's got his Thanos. He's got the Shang-Chi that he's probably holding on to, figuring you're going Shuri into,
He's just
you
gonna
know,
play
into
to
Red
nowhere,
Skull.
though,
There's
right?
going to be a
Right.
big boy on the board to take out. So Spessie's probably feeling okay. He's
Matt
just got to sort
Smiths.
out where things are going because, you know, that given...
I was not happy with
so
this
good
play
to be able
actually.
to
Like I
actually
really
second
didn't
use
like
the stones at this
my
point,
position
so-
here.
Oh, he's got
it's
got
not
every stone.
necessary.
Yeah,
Like,
we can see
I
that
don't wanna
Thanos
fill a
actually
lane
already
up,
has the buff
but-
from the Power Stone, so has cycled through every
Like
stone now.
I don't
one
like this
thing
play
about
still.
Lockjaw is, yes, it can high roll and get a lot of stats. The one thing that Lockjaw is very bad at doing is
This is
ensuring
obvious play,
that
right?
you get the highest amount of stats on the last turn as you can,
Mhm.
right?
So I snapped, so I got a Kang.
Because it's random what you get. Now we see the Kang here.
Oh,
The Kang comes
chat.
down.
I hope you're ready to see a
am
ballsy play.
currently, going to be winning middle. That's a foregone conclusion. So we'll see what I end up playing here. I'm trying to remember, but like the lanes are inverted for me here, so I don't remember exactly which lane I play on. But
Fair.
I am going to be staying in here, and of course we see the Kang come out.
And that's, you know, you bring up a great lockjaw point because while Specie has all of the cards he wants, he can't play them all, right? He has to
Right.
make that choice. Is it more impactful to play the Shang-Chi to try and take out a Taskmaster that might come, knowing that he leached, so probably not? This
It's
actually
less
could
likely.
give him some good information if you do decide to drop, let's say, a Taskmaster that hasn't been leached.
Yeah, that's the big thing about the lead.
All right,
is
chat.
that
Tell me if you see the line.
It could lure you into a false sense of security if you're not sure. Like if I draw something that I wouldn't
Like,
want to
surely I
get-
can't win this, right?
that I wouldn't want to get leached after the fact that the leach happens is less likely that I have it.
If you've
but
already
I
seen
do
the
have
game-
it doesn't matter how likely it
If
is.
you've
or
already
not,
seen
I
the
just do
game, don't
have it.
spoil.
So here's a scenario.
I have a
here. So I
line.
play the arrow, and I play, okay. If I recall correctly, we both got disconnected. I remember getting disconnected.
Is the line to
so
lose? There's a line.
Here's a scenario where
Okay, I win this game. For 8 cubes. See if you can spot the line. I win from this position. It's
I
brave
make
as
a
hell.
play. I actually end up making the same play here. And this was me not understanding the interaction between Arrow and Lockjaw.
So, if I play Sunspot and Thanos, Arrow is going to pull a random card, right? Which therefore means if it pulls Sunspot I lose 50% of the time.
Because I make the same play,
So
thinking in my mind
the
that,
line
oh,
is to
you can
play
something
Thanos and
huge
only
here,
Thanos.
but it's gonna get lockjawed away, so it doesn't matter, right? I'm thinking that if I pull something with arrow, it's still going to end up getting lockjawed, which is just, as we'll see, is just not how the card works, and I end up getting, well, we'll see here in a second.
you have initiative, correct? So the card reveals first and then gets pulled over. If Specimen has
Specimen
initiative.
does.
If you had initiative and pulled the card over before it's revealed,
No.
would Lockjaw then would take?
That's a
effect,
great
correct?
question. I still don't know the answer to that, but I'm thinking it possibly doesn't. And I'm sure
It doesn't.
I'm sure someone in the comments will point this out. But
I snap on
regardless,
it!
I
I
thought
locked
that it would
that
work the way I
bitch in!
wanted to, whether I had
This is so tense.
priority or
8
not.
cubes
So I end up
out of the
making same
tournament if
play.
I lose this.
Specimen makes the correct play of playing the Thanos over there. I end up with not that much power, and Specimen gets a huge win there. If you did see my side here,
I love
you
it.
would see me going, "Oh, I got him with this. I got him with the arrow,"
God.
and then me going, "Oh, that's just not how the card works." Well, that's not great.
Bro, I want to win this
That,
tournament.
did not feel good. I cannot imagine
No.
that feeling particularly good, especially
Well,
when you think, "Hey, I've got this," and there you
I
go.
did think
snapping
I
it.
got it. Now, again, I am friends with Specimen, so this is a battle amongst friends, one way or the other. As you see, I held true to my to my convictions here. I did snap sight unseen on turn 1 here,
And
and hey,
And Specie
making a
takes
little
off.
progress here. Yeah.
Look at that. Gets you
I
a
mean,
game.
I'm not really sure this retreat
On the
makes
one
any
hand,
sense. to be
yes, that's a great
honest.
way for me to get a free cube. On the other hand, like, this is a recipe for Specimen just waiting to have a very, very good hand and then winning the match.
I have Shang
which-
and Arrow, so I just stay here,
We'll see.
right?
We'll see if that happens or not. I can still make a. I can still.
I played like a
theoretically
week
make
ago
comeback here.
on
Like,
this one.
if Specimen doesn't want to stay in, we're gonna be in double cube realm very soon, which then puts me to a point. where
So
just
I
have to
think they've
win,
also
which is,
announced like
you know,
how the next tournaments are working, right? Like how the next games, because I'm now like obviously I'm winning from here. Let's be honest. I don't think that's a spoiler. So I don't want to say who my next game is against because I think that is a spoiler. But I think they've announced what's happening for the rest of the tournament. It's a bit weird.
value off the Polaris here.
Like, this is the last. I've not played any
to,
games since this. This is the
pull
last game
a
I've played so
stone
far.
into Jotunheim, which is great. So I'm feeling pretty good about this.
Someone
game.
mentioned it earlier, so I'm
Specimen
pretty
does
convinced
get
that it's
the
been
early
announced.
She-Hulk,
So
which is,
the top
which is
the top
is
6,
generally
which I
not
think is like the last
necessarily
5
when you want to
games,
play the
are
She-Hulk,
going to be
but
played on the
Specimen
new
does,
patch
again,
with new
open deck
decks,
list. I don't have Shang-Chi in my
which
deck, so
is
I
cool.
don't have a
It's good for the
huge
viewer
bunch
experience, but also the
of
concept of
She-Hulk,
switching decks halfway through a tournament
And
is
that-
not
that
something
is
I
that
like.
difference,
I
right,
have
where
to
you
admit.
just get that sense
Just
of
like from a
freedom knowing,
pure
yeah,
competitive
Peter
standpoint,
Peter
it does pose some
absolutely
issues.
nothing Blevins can do about it.
For example, if I was to
You
have
get
brought
the
Thanos
Shuri
in the
out,
winners
which
bracket, I would be in a far better
potentially
position
leads
most
to,
likely than I
a lot
currently
of
am.
points on your side of the board as well. So that's still
So from a
an option there. There's
competitive
still hope.
standpoint, it's something I don't like.
I've got the
But,
giant arrow trying to pull whatever they play.
I think like it
maybe
makes
some
sense
Jotunheim
for
as well.
where we're at right now.
You know, technically, I'm winning here on.
I have
in
initiative, so
Jotunheim right now.
he has no
Now, of
arrow,
course,
right?
that can certainly change with Shang-Chi. Again, I have painted
Kang is
myself
actually
into the
bad here
corner,
because of
via my snap
Dino.
strategy from the earlier games, and also this one. where
Freddie
I
Rose in
literally,
tournament
if I win, I'm
organizing.
100% lose. If I retreat, I'm
Sounds
just dead
about
anyway.
right.
So I need to just try to win here.
I'm surprised I go
see
for the
what
Kang here.
happens.
It's less points on Dino, but
Specimen
I guess it
going
makes
to take
sense.
the Kang here, just to get a look see. I'm just trying to put as much power in as I can. Now I don't remember how I play out this last turn, but one thing that I have tried to do when playing against Kang is to, even if the play that I made initially is the
Yeah,
quote-unquote
changing
strongest
decks
play,
halfway through a
I'm
tournament
gonna
is not
try to do
not
something
good.
at least slightly
but-
different, even if it's less powerful.
Oh,
Just to try to throw off what my opponent is doing.
Thing is, as well,
throw off my
I was
opponent
feeling
as to what
pretty
they think I'm
confident,
doing.
like
Yeah, I mean, playing
about
the
my
same
run
thing
in
at the
losers
end of the
bracket.
day,
Like
if
with
you
my
were
Thanos
able
deck,
to
I was
do
looking
that
pretty
and
good.
your
I think I was one of the
opponent knows what's
favorites.
coming,
Yeah.
you'd imagine they would
Without the
retreat,
deck
right?
changes,
That would be the
I think I
logical
was
solution.
like
So you've got to do something different. Otherwise,
one
you
of the
have to imagine
favorites
they've
to win the
got
whole
you.
thing.
There you see Specie dropping the arrow to pull
Yeah.
over whatever you play into that lane that he's expecting to lose anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, competitive
Arrow,
snap's awesome.
You know, has
After
the
making new
hidden
deck, yeah, after the
impacts
patch,
of
I have like
if you're
24
winning 2
hours.
lanes on,
So
turn 6,
I'm gonna be making
you have priority,
videos,
you lead the
streaming,
game.
and then
A lot
also
of the
trying to
time,
make a fucking
especially
secret
against
deck all in
my
24
deck with
hours.
the
It's gonna be a bit scuffed.
inability
I
to
can't lie.
play a lot of different
Not ideal.
you know, a lot of smaller units. I think I'm here trying to. Oh, I do.
It does
remember
favor
this
me
unit,
though.
actually.
It would be remiss
I'm
for me
actually
not to
trying
not
play
to mention
around
that.
Arrow
Like
here. I
having a
remember, like,
24-hour
okay,
window
I
to
can
build a new deck
actually
on a new
beat
patch
Arrow
is
here,
like exactly
assuming
where
that
I'm gonna
Specimen
thrive.
Probably has an arrow,
Most
or is at
likely.
least in their
Of course,
range.
I might lose my
How
first
can I
game,
beat
but
Arrow?
like, I
Actually
mean, it
put
definitely
out a
puts me
play that beats Arrow.
in a good spot.
It, unfortunately, as we see here, does not beat Arrow plus another unit, unfortunately. So because
He could have
of
played
the
this
Souls,
differently, right? He could have gone Titanium mid, and then he wins.
Arrow plus another.
He missplit. Alright, GG.